Sorry. Yes?
I will have to leave by like in 15 minutes or so because I have a job at work meeting.
Don't worry. Don't worry. That's fine. Then you can watch the
I'll watch the
recording.
corner.
Okay.
Thank
There
you.
you go. Okay. So today is a very special day. You guys are going to be doing some demos for me, right? For conversation activities. Have you prepared your conversation activities?
I made something, but
Same
Wonderful.
I
here.
like it very much,
Great.
because I didn't have enough time. So just,
I know how it is. Trust me. We teachers, I don't know how we manage so much on our plates, right?
yeah.
So I'm going to propose that you show me what you have, and I'll do my best to kind of like guide you on how you can improve that. Okay. I will also share with you some of the tasks that I have done with some guidelines that I think are helpful. But the most important, when we're designing a conversation activity, what first pops to your mind, Ida? What comes in mind when you say, I have to prepare a conversation activity?
The subject and the
Okay.
materials.
Okay, very well. And what about you, Vianney? What comes to mind? Okay, conversation activity. You're mute, my dear.
Thank you. In my case, I just thinking, how can I be dynamic and engaging with the students? It's hard, it's challenging.
I know, I know. Now, I think that the first thing that should really come to your mind, and this is something that I always try to do with my students, is why is this subject useful? How can it be useful? In what kind of context? So that besides the dynamic, besides the material, of course, all of that is part of it, but the usefulness, because if they don't see a purpose, it really is less engaging and less interesting. So, and some subjects that they try to make us teach, they are kind of like almost unrealistic, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
So, how to make that transform into a realistic situation? I used to struggle a lot to teach furniture. I would see it as like something not meaningful to them. And then I realized that there are situations when knowing the furniture is useful, when they go to a hotel and they don't have, let's suppose, a seat. So they need a seat. So things like that, trying to make it useful for them, using their own home as a reference. That also is always something that I always try to do. And I develop the activities considering that. So always the usefulness. At the end of all the tasks, I also try to take 2 to 3 minutes, any task, be it grammar, be it conversation, wrapping up saying, okay, when can you use this? Why is this useful? In what situation do you see this being helpful? So always try to show them that everything that is taught, at some point, it will be used. Okay, I find that very, very, inspirational for them. Okay. Zara, how are you today? I think Zara doesn't have an image today,
Yeah, I
but here
guess.
we go. So, would you like to share either what you did already, and then we
Actually,
will
I don't know
cooperate
how
with
to
you?
share my, because everything is new for me. I saved
Don't
it
worry.
somewhere in as a PDF file, but I'm not
Excellent.
sure how to share it in here.
Okay, at the bottom of the screen, there's a little design of a hand.
Yeah.
If you put your mouse on the hand and you click with the right button, it will show you, hold on, no, beside.
The
No,
face or
It
three
says
dots.
share.
share. It says share. There you go. So there's a little tab that says share beside the hand.
Beside the hand, I see some reaction. Oh, yeah, yeah, yeah. Share, share.
Share. There you
Okay.
go.
Yeah.
Okay. Then you click on share and it will open up several windows and several tabs. And then you
Okay.
select there your PDF file.
I saved it on my screen, but
So while you're tackling that,
okay.
Yanni, are
Yeah.
yours ready? So please,
Yes,
since you will have to leave,
does it need to be in PDF or can it be in
no,
Word?
it can be in Word.
Okay, I'm ready.
So please share yours and then Ida will tackle hers there.
Yeah, now I want to see Vianney's. Okay.
Okay.
Okay, beautiful. So you decided to put it in activities. Yours are in Spanish, right?
Correct. Everything has to be in Spanish.
That's it. So you
Okay.
will have a special teacher correcting the Spanish, the grammar. I'm going to guide you here in terms of methodology and structure, okay?
Okay. And now how can I um give me a moment.
Scroll down. There you go. Beautiful.
Okay. So I don't want to focus on that yet. I just want to show you the conversations. Okay.
Okay.
And I'm still working on it. So this is the first draft.
Mm-hmm.
Daniel shared with us a few some pages with information about how he did his own when he was
Mm-hmm.
studying. So I
That's
pretty
it.
much used that template to do my
Excellent.
own activities. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So then I just put the title. Uh,
Good.
sorry, ladies, it is in Spanish, but in English, it's like give and ask for personal information and informal and formal way. Okay,
Okay.
so
Very good.
here I just put um,
The number of
how,
students, the
yeah,
level. Okay.
yeah,
When you say objectives, okay, so objectives is a very important part. I always tell students that, but I also think that the enabling objectives are important. What does that mean? What will they be able to do with this? So your objective here is for them to know the vocabulary of introduction and formal and informal.
to
Now,
say their name.
so those are the enabling objectives, you see? So the
Oh, okay.
objective is to teach them the vocabulary for introductions. What will this enable them? So then that's what we call enabling objectives.
Can
So
I
they
ask
are
something?
distinct. Yes, of course, Ida.
I have some problem with goals and enabling, you know. I think they are almost the same. What is the difference? I didn't get that.
No, they're not. When you enable somebody, it's because you provide tools for them to be able to develop a task or to achieve a goal. Growth means to add something. Okay, so that's the basic difference.
So which one is more important? Actually, I cannot say which one is more important, but the goal is the final task. Yeah, the
A
final.
goal is the objective. Okay, so you have an objective. In this case, teach vocabulary to introduce oneself. And
Yeah.
now, with this vocabulary, what will they be able to do? They will be able to inform their name, where they're from, so they will be enabled
Yeah.
to provide information. Those are the enabling objectives.
Okay, I got that.
Okay. Once again, this helps us teachers reflect on what is the usefulness of the content when we design and we add enabling objectives.
Thank you.
Okay, so here your objective is to teach them the vocabulary to concerning introductions, nationality. What will they be able to do with this?
Okay, they will learn to present themselves and to ask questions to another person, like what is your name, where are you from? They will learn how to say their age, nationality, and their phone number.
Exactly. So those are the enabling objectives, okay?
Mhm.
Now the method that you will use, it's the communicative approach, right? Excellent.
Yes, and audiolingual as well.
Very well,
And
because
then
audiolingual.
I'm sorry for interrupting.
No,
And
no, for the
and
grammar, excellent.
thank you. And in YouTube, I found a very helpful video that I'm thinking in sharing with the students in class or online. So I just put a link here. I can just click and play the video. I won't do it this time, otherwise it will take longer. But that's the
Okay.
video. And then the
Mm,
activity comes next.
okay.
So that means, number one, that I will project the video in class. And then in the second point, if I have 10 students, I will have 5 teams of 2, and they will
Very
have to
good.
complete the next questions.
Mhm.
It is a conversation between 2 people, and the answers are here, are below. The answers are in gray, and they will have to put in whatever answer in the conversation in the correct way.
Perfect.
Okay, and
Perfect.
then
That's it.
I will evaluate if they understood, and I will also help them with the pronunciation of the words.
Perfect.
Okay,
Okay.
then once let's say that I have one person asking the questions, the other person is going to be answering, then the roles are going to
Switch.
change. Yeah, to
Okay.
switch. Then
Excellent.
both can practice.
Excellent.
Okay, so that's the number 3. And the number 4, ignore the
Okay.
number 4.
Don't worry. So after you do this task, what do I also propose is that you have a homework task, right? That you add to your class plan a homework task.
Okay,
Okay, that's also very efficient when we're designing a plan so that they know they will extend their learning experience beyond the classroom.
okay,
And it could be something simple. They can interview a friend, a relative, and bring in the information, you know. So there are several different tasks that you can propose. Once again, the more realistic, the better, right? So
mhm.
asking them to do it with a real person, the same questions that they did. I even ask when I do this, you can ask them to record a video of this, you know, of them asking the questions and the person answering the questions.
Oh, that's very nice.
It is because nowadays with the mobile phone, everyone has a mobile phone and it's very easy to record.
Yes.
Exactly. And that's another opportunity that you have to really see how efficiently the content has been, you know, ingrained.
But how can I implement that? Let's say that my class has ages between 17 to 40. Some
Mm-hmm.
people are not very reliable with technology. So in that case, can I just say, hey, you have these 2 options. One option can
Yes.
be by video and the other one can be in paper.
Just paper. There you go.
Okay,
Perfect. That's it.
perfect.
Okay.
Okay,
Very well. Excellent. Good job.
thank you.
Uh, so I think that you guys are on the right track. I'm just going to bring up now uh, one of mine that I would like to share with you just so that you can see
Thank
what
you.
it looks like. Daniel has also shared with you guys, and I will share now briefly just what I mentioned.
I will check the recorded later. Thank you very
That's
much.
it. Let me just share my screen now. There we go. Okay, so I'm going to show task number 2, let's suppose. So it was the difference to teach, dare to be, and have. So then the level of students, the
I'm
subject and
sorry.
the type.
I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Can you explain what you're doing?
Yeah, I'm
I was
showing
just a
my
little.
task. Now I'm
Your
showing my
task,
tasks, Lara. Okay,
but
just
the
as a
task.
sample.
I know.
Yeah.
What do you mean? What do you mean? Task number 2. A conversation activity number 2.
Oh yeah, because this is my task. Here we go. My task number 1, number 2. I
Oh,
will
okay.
share.
12. Okay.
Okay.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
So this is at random. I opened up at number
Okay.
2.
Gotcha.
So I do a class description where it is. I feel that this also is very helpful when you're doing a task for as an assignment. It is to describe time of activity also. I think it's important. So where is this class being applied? In my case, I applied it for real. So I had a real context. If not, where would you apply it? In what context would you apply it? Would it be like in a private language school? Would it be in college? So then I have the linguistic content, the objectives, and then the enabling objectives. So in this case, it was in the mother tongue, they have the verb to have, but it is used in a different situation. And that's why it's important to really teach the difference so that they don't confuse the usage. The method, material needed, the process of the activity, right? And then the pair work that I developed. And then, of course, class activity. In this one, I did not develop a homework assignment, but after I did a few, I realized how important it is to have the homework assignment. So that was follow-up activity homework. So that would be, I always recommend adding a follow-up activity as homework. Okay? So the template is very similar to Daniel's. The only thing that I always like to point out, I feel, is by constructing and thinking of enabling objectives, this is where you will be able to show to them the usefulness of the content that you're teaching. So here we go. Yes?
So even we tell the students about enabling, or just we know it for ourselves?
Yes, this is for us as teachers. And as I said, when we do this, we automatically were prepared to inform the students the usefulness of it, right? So now, Ida, are you ready to share yours?
I'm not sure if we can do it now. Let me check. Screen. Would you please? Share screen. Then.
You have an assistant there. There you go.
Yeah,
Beautiful.
my daughter, sorry.
Wonderful.
You make it safe.
Yeah, you did not share, I believe, the correct screen only.
It's your problem.
You have to select one of the tabs. Sarah, have you started designing your activities as well?
I'm afraid not yet, because I
Okay.
haven't finished my my paper. I have already finished my paper in the morning, so I'm just revising it and proofreading, and then I can start my activity. No, I haven't started.
There you go, Ida. Beautiful. Now it's on the screen.
I can't see
Can see
anything. Something is just spinning around. So
Yeah,
I
yeah.
don't have it. I don't have it.
Yeah, because for us, we can see your screen now.
Oh, okay.
Zahra, can you?
No, I can't see. Maybe because of my low internet connection, I'm not able to
Okay.
see yours. But that's okay. You can explain. I can guess what you have done.
Sorry. Sienna, I know I have a big problem. My subject is not very practical. You know, I don't know why. I knew that it's not very practical, but anyway, I wanted to do it and ask you about your opinion. This
No, but
is
it is
about-
indeed. Continents and countries nowadays,
it's
it's very
countries
useful.
and continents. And
Yeah.
I'm imagining that my students are about 10, they are about, teenagers, high school teenagers, and they are intermediate. So I know a bit about, the language. They are not basic. About 30 minutes, I think. They are all teenagers, and all of them have been, have come to Canada recently. So they have been living for a few months now, but they are not, very good speakers. And I try to make the environment native-like, so the class is in Canada. And I've tried to use some CLT, some TPR, and also ALM. I try to ask them to repeat the names, because I think that the name of the continent maybe is new for them, so they have to repeat it again and again. I have some sheets for them and a big map of the world on it. I give them some color pencils. I have a YouTube video and some pictures. This is
Excellent.
my link of the video YouTube. It's a very short video about explaining about the continent. A father gives a daughter, and it's kind of cartoon. So maybe it's not good for teenagers. I'm not sure about that, but I wanted it to be easy. not very complicated. So I chose this one. And this is the map of the world. I start with this one. Maybe it will be interesting for them. I don't know. Oh, the goals. I have some problem here. My goals and enabling objectives, are almost the same because I wasn't very sure about the meaning. Now I'm much better. But yesterday I wasn't very sure. The goal was new vocabulary use. So I want them to use the name of the continent, they understand it and they can say it and say the differences. The pronunciation is important for me, and also listening. They have to listen to the video and try to understand it. So sometimes I pause it, I make them understand it, I ask them some question, and then I go on. Otherwise, this video is very short. It's about 3 or 4 minutes. But the enabling objectives, I think here I have some problem. Again, I said name of continent and simple present tense. Now I know it's not good. So enabling, I don't know what to choose here for enabling.
So here, the simple present tense, it is a very important element here because the simple present tense, it will be used. It is used in English when we want to make statements and talk about factual information.
Yeah.
So that's perfect. So to name capital cities, to name the location, all of that is going to be simple present because it is factual, right?
Yeah.
Zara, do you have a comment, please?
Yeah, I have a question. While Ida is talking about the enabling object, to be honest with you, this is the first time that I have heard this phrases. So I wonder if you can explain what enabling object is. So I should be on the right track.
Yes, let's go. So you have the objectives of the class. In this class, it is to teach the name of the continents and countries. So that's your goal. That's your objective. Now, what will you be able to do with this information? What will the student be able to do? What will it provide? So it will provide them the knowledge or the vocabulary
Yes.
to ask where people are from, to talk about their background, to also, talk about if a country is near or far from. When I say, oh, I live in Brazil nowadays, even though I'm from Canada, nowadays I live in Brazil. And some people, they question me, okay, so, and what language do people speak in Brazil? Because many people think that it's Spanish because the other countries. And then I explain, well, the surrounding countries such as Chile, Argentina, and then they speak Spanish. So enabling the students to discuss and to provide information about their own country, ask information about other students' countries, and provide information. So those are the enabling skills here.
Enabling skills. Okay, so what's the one enabling object then? The same?
Yeah, it's the same thing, enabling objectives. It's the skills and what they will be able to do with the information that they learned.
Does that mean that they are, we're going to help them just be prepared to talk about their everything that they are going to learn in the class, or we can provide the real context for them to use new learned language and words in about their lives. Is that right?
That's it, Zara. So goes like this. The enabling skills, it's enabling objectives. It's more for us teachers to really, reflect upon the content that we're going to teach them, the usefulness of this content, because we need to be sure that this content is useful once again, for it to be meaningful for them.
Connecting their real life with the new content that they are learning. And
Exactly.
then make them talk about it.
In this case, you can use even famous people. You can take, okay, so for example, take Justin Bieber. Where is Justin Bieber from? Or you take another, these big celebrities and so on. You can project their images and ask, okay, so where are they from? And things like that.
Yeah. And so we can say that, this enabling objectives is kind of personal, but the goal is something, not general. It's general. Yeah, because
Yes.
I still think they are almost close to each other.
Exactly. But whenever we have an objective, the objectives that are going to be taught or that are taught, they have to be applicable. right? And where can they apply that? Those are the enabling objectives. How to apply the content that is taught.
Okay.
We can consider, just maybe to clarify a little bit, the goal is very much connected to linguistic content. So the objectives and the goals, they are usually what we call linguistic content. In this case, continents, countries, right? The enabling objectives is where they apply this linguistic content.
Okay. Okay. I got that.
Okay.
Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah. Very well then.
Okay, so here I have some activity. First,
So
teacher.
going back, just to be sure, even in the enabling objectives, grammar plays an important role.
Okay.
Because whenever you teach a content, many times it is associated to grammar. So, associating grammar within context, that is the big dream, right, of us teachers.
Yeah.
So being able to, review simple present was already taught. So bringing it back to them, you don't necessarily have to really say, oh, this is the simple present, but by reapplying, reusing the simple present in a situation, okay? And simple questions like, can I say, oh, Brazil was in South America? Can I say, is this sentence correct? They're going to say no, because it's not. Brazil is still there. So things like that, So bringing in real things connected to them. So I'm going to say Ottawa was the capital of Canada. No, Ottawa is the capital of Canada, so things like that.
Sorry.
Yep.
Good one.
Okay, you can move. There we go.
Here in the big conversation activity, in the beginning, I, as a teacher, introduce the topic to students. In the beginning, I try to engage them. I show them a big map of the world to students on the screen, maybe the one I showed in my lesson plan. And I ask them some question about different countries. It's just a warm-up question. Do you know any country? Have you ever traveled to this country? I want them to start talking about different country. And after that, after the warm-up part, I put the students in pair and give each pair a sheet. And this is a black and white sheet. And I ask them, now they know a little bit about different continents. I ask them to find their own country. I hope they can do it. But again, this is a black and white, sheet. And after that, when they found their country, now they come to class again. Everyone talk about his partner's country. So, for example, they say, okay, Vianney is from. Every one of them talk about their part country. So I want them to talk a little bit. After that, I show them the video. In the video, they say exactly the names of the 7 continents, and now I focus on the continents. Next, I write the name of the 7 continents on the board, and I ask them to repeat it. I think this part might be a little bit hard for them because maybe it's the first time they are hearing, especially Antarctica is usually hard for them. So I ask them to repeat it again and again. First together and then one by one. I want them to repeat it. So it's kind of, ALM part. And now this time, the sheet that they had, they have to color each continent with a specific color. Maybe they can use the color I gave them in the beginning. For example, some continents are famous for example, Europe is usually famous for being green because it has many, green parts. So they can just color it. After that, I want them to write some question on the board. Now I want to focus maybe a little bit on reading and also using the simple present. I ask them some questions. How many countries are there? Sorry, how many continents are there? Which one is the biggest? Which one is the smallest? I assume that they know about biggest and smallest. Maybe that part I have, I'm shaky. Maybe it's not in their level, but I imagine that they know about biggest and smallest.
If they are intermediate students, they have already learned
I think
superlative and comparative, yes.
Which continent is your country in? So I want them to talk about these questions again in pairs, and then each one of them ask each other about, the question. I ask them, they ask each other. I don't know, kind of engage them. I know I have some parts. If I had time, I could have do better things, but sorry, I just did it very quickly.
No, this is,
And as
you are really, now, you are really on the right track. Did you realize that you used which instead of what here, which is correct? And this is a very good moment also for you to point out the difference of which and what, right?
Mhm.
Because there is a limited number of continents, and that's when we use which, when the choice is limited.
Mhm.
So this is a very good opportunity to reinforce the use of which, comparing it to what.
Good.
Okay.
I didn't think
So
about it
then-
before, but yeah, it's
Yeah.
a good time now. I can, jump on this one.
You can jump on this. So taking the opportunity. So that's what I like about the enabling skills. It puts you to think back on all the, why did you choose which? You did it right, but this is a great opportunity to show them the difference of which and what. You see, which country is your country in? Because it's a limited options of country, of continents, right? So then we use which.
Mhm.
We will use what when there is no limit. So what color do you like? Now, which color do you prefer, blue or white then, right? So this is a very good moment.
Good.
When you talk about assessment, I feel that in-class assessment is really important. What would be the key for you to know that this content has been, understood and it has been already, incorporated by the students? How do you feel this could be done?
If they can answer my questions, they can pronounce it well. If they can understand about how many, and just the general questions. If they can answer, I think my goal of the teaching is completed.
That's it. So what you can do here, you can number these questions on the board, do a teacher-student, presentation. Then they work in pairs. When they finish the pair work, you can start to do student-student. So you can say, let's suppose one student from team A, Sandra. Sandra, please ask Pedro, which is another team member, question number 1. So then she will ask the question on the board, the student will answer. Then Pedro will ask, and another student. So you can make it like the student themselves, one asking each other. You will be practicing. The students, you will be able to observe pronunciation. I recommend that you take notes, and at the end, then you point out the corrections. So you don't have to point the finger to each student. You can make it a general correction. So let's suppose Pedro made a mistake in pronouncing continent, but you don't have to say it's Pedro. So you take note, pronunciation, continent, and the list of words that need to be reviewed.
Yeah. Okay.
So I think that's a very nice way of evaluation. And based on these notes, for example, for the next class, you can begin as a warm-up activity with the world map again, pointing out and working on the vocabulary that you listed, that they showed pronunciation errors.
Yeah, good one. Thank you.
So that could be like you said here, for next session, I would avoid the word must, right?
Yeah.
As an assignment, they will search and find 3 countries in each continent. They write up down and share it with the class. Okay. So maybe here's a moment when this can be an expansion on, they can bring in the country and the language that is spoken in the country, maybe. Because then you add element to it, which is relevant language. Those are suggestions, okay, Ida?
Yeah, good one. Thank you.
Okay, then.
And sorry, when I am writing this lesson plan and the one you said they can ask each other and then, I just check them. Should I write all of these details in my lesson plan, or I just...
No, you have to, for as an assignment to grade you, the more details you put in, the better to grade and to see your skills as a teacher to design a plan.
Okay.
Now, this is a question also that you will be asked on the board exam, okay? They will ask you to design a lesson plan during the board exam.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Now,
Great.
I would suggest before you guys get started, it is to list what you believe are relevant topics to work with and try to vary. Maybe like, do a business topic with email that's very relevant, vocabulary for email, kind of like greetings to use in an email, sign offs of an email. These are things that many people, many students, they have doubts and it becomes very useful for them. So there are several topics that you can, so I would first list the 12 activities that I would focus on and even see how they interact with each other, right?
Yeah.
So that's something that could be helpful when you're designing. Zara, question, my dear? You're on mute, I think, maybe?
Yeah. Yeah, I'm sorry. Yeah.
Yeah,
Sorry.
yeah.
I have a question. I'm teaching right now English language to different level of the students, and I wonder if I can use the material that I have as the main kind of subject and prepare or develop a lesson plan or activity based on those
Definitely.
subject
I
or
think that would be very interesting because once again, you will reflect upon the content and you can even, come up with new ideas while you're doing this. So it's very helpful. That's
yeah.
what I did, in fact.
Yeah, because I've already developed lots of lesson plans for my class. Because before my class, I developed lots of lesson plans. So and actually, mine is in the format of a PowerPoint. So I develop my lesson plan based on the in a slide to share with my students. But in my lesson plan or activity, I have included all of 4 skills in order to help the students talk and about their concept, about their new points. So I wonder, is that okay if I use the integrated skills of the English language in order to for the activity of the
Definitely.
conversation?
Yeah, once again, it all comes down, this is an assignment to evaluate your skills for teaching language. Developing 4 skills in one class, it is possible, definitely. Highly, demanding on the teacher, but if you have these lesson plans ready, what do I recommend? Is that you put them in this format,
Yes,
what is
yeah,
the level of
definitely.
the student, and
Okay.
explain the context. Like I said, when I did mine, hold on, I shared clearly what was the situation.
Sure. Good.
So here, for example, this is a basic 4-level college class at the State Technology College in Brazil. English is a subject taught, and so I really, the age group from 18 to 28, morning students. So put this in because it shows that this has been applied. It's very, very, helpful. And then
Okay.
start the linguistic content. So this one was sentence structure, then the enabling objectives, the
Good.
method, and so on. Handout. So I did a handout. And then, of course, here it was an assignment, reasons to learn a new language. This one, I came to the point that I felt that they were not really conscious of why it was important for them to learn English. So when I was designing my class plans, I thought also of needs and expectations, the students, so their needs. And this lesson came based because some of them really didn't understand why English would be important to them in long term, nor short nor long. So this class was designed for this purpose, and it was very helpful.
Okay.
So
So and I wonder if it's okay. I think it's okay to use the audio file or video file of the book, for example, I'm teaching base.
definitely it
Just use
is.
it.
Okay. When you cite the link, just be sure that you cite appropriately the reference where the name of the book, the author,
Sure.
and the
Yeah,
publisher.
definitely. Definitely.
Okay.
Okay,
But
thank you.
definitely. Yeah. So this is one way of really designing a plan that you put in as much detail as you can in
Mhm.
order to, to telling the time. This is a topic that I feel is always, important.
Good
It
one.
is, yeah, it's useful. And telling the time will review numbers. So that's also something important. You review numbers because then they see purpose to learning numbers.
Mhm.
Another topic that I find very helpful is here. This one is fun. Find someone who. So find someone who has a cat. Find someone who this. So then they will work a lot with questions. So it's all, this class is all based on questions, how to elaborate and to put together questions. So find someone who ate chicken at the weekend, spoke English outside the class. So these are little things that I come up with. So this is, of course, it is simple past now, right? Did you eat chicken on the weekend? Did you do this? So it's all about past now. So it's associated grammar with content and in a fun way. They love it. Movie review. This also is lots of fun because everyone, they love watching movies, Netflix, TV series. Um, if you wish, put your email in the chat box, and I
Sure.
will send my material
Yes.
to you.
Oh, thank you. That's a big help because I can't see anything right now.
Oh, no, I'll send it over to you.
Thank you.
Just put it in the chat box. I'm going to
Sure.
copy it right away.
Thank you.
And at the same time, then you will have my email. And if you have any questions that I can help you guys, please feel free to send in questions. Okay. Do you have any other class plans, Ida, that we can see?
No, just this one.
Just this one. Okay. So what topics do you already have listed that you would teach? Have you already thought of that previously?
Not really.
Yeah, either. Okay. So you
But
need to
the
design
introducing
12,
part
right?
I always love, the one that Vianney said, the introducing part is, I think it's, I definitely choose one of my, 10 or 12 subject would be that one. But other things, no, actually, I haven't thought about that yet.
Have you thought of anything like teaching English for specific purpose, like teaching English to in terms of technology language? Because now this is also something really useful,
Yeah.
technology vocabulary. So you should try to vary your tasks. That definitely was helpful. One, like I said, business English, that would be the email. That also, I
Yeah.
think, is helpful. Another class that I feel that they really love the content is in terms of preferences. Okay, when they can choose and, express their likes, dislikes, and opinions. That also is a very useful class, and they see meaning to it. And then I usually talk about, websites that they prefer. And this is when I propose to them to do a survey. So then they design a survey to ask questions. What is your favorite TV series? What do you watch Netflix or, streaming? So they can design then a survey to do with their classmates.
And I think for
Once
all
again,
ages, it would be very interesting, the likes and
it
dislikes.
is.
Yeah, good one.
And surveys, they love doing surveys because they walk around the classroom. It's very dynamic. They end up, doing a lot of activities together. They interact more. And when they present the results, it's really funny because there are some funny questions that they come up with. One of them asked the other, "Oh, what is your favorite day of the week?" So then they were able also, to find out the day of the week and the favorite color. One girl came up with dark fuchsia. It wasn't only fuchsia, it was like dark fuchsia. So they come up with a lot of their answers that are interesting. And you can do that with sports, with food, you can propose the topics for them, you know, day of the week. So favorite time of day.
The topic is very general. Now you said that, for example, food is a very lovely topic, but it is very general. Isn't it better to choose something which is a little bit more, you know?
Oh no, you guys designed the questions together. So that's why it's very interesting, because it would be questions that they're interested in asking each other and not questions that you give. So you can say, okay, what would you like to ask your classmate? And then one say, oh, what time of day he prefers, or where he goes on the weekend. So then you would create the question together on the board with the students, you know, and working with sentence structure. And then the questions would be meaningful to them because everyone chipped in, you know, and it becomes relevant for them.
Yeah.
So that's why the survey, instead of us designing the questions, it would be basically one full class for them designing questions. But at the same time, it would be very interactive and dynamic.
Good one. Yeah.
The more that we can include them, I think, the more they feel participant, it becomes more relevant at any age, even adults. Make no mistakes, adults, they like to be heard too.
Yeah, sure.
Right? Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
So, for instance, if you were to ask a question to Zara, Aida, what would you like to ask Zara, let's suppose?
I don't know her, for example.
Yeah, so that's
Definitely, I want to talk about her likes and dislikes, especially, you know, I am very into movies, so and series. So usually the first question would be any favorite series. So
there you
definitely it
go.
would be one of my first questions.
Exactly, very well. Now, for instance, it's very popular also for students to have a mobile phone, right, nowadays, and that's something. So, when do you use your mobile phone? Do you use your mobile phone in bed before going to sleep, right?
Yeah.
So things like that, that they really they will come up. Trust me, they're very creative. Okay. So what kind of clothes do you like to wear on Sundays or on a sunny day, and things like, what is your favorite food? So things that they can ask. And like you said, dislike and like TV series. And you could even ask specifically. So for example, for Canadians, the royal family is a big thing, right? Canadians love the royal family. So you can ask them, have you watched the documentary or the movie Crown, the TV series Crown? And then it can be like 50% did, 50% did not watch. So things like that. You can also direct a few questions if you wish them to work with like simple present or present perfect. Have you watched Crown? So that will give them the sense of having to use. So when they come up with the subject, you can kind of like design the questions according to what you would like to reinforce. That's why having enabling objectives ready, you will design the questions according to what you want the class to develop.
Exactly. Yeah, I got that.
Got that? Okay. Are you
Yeah.
teaching right now, Ida?
No, not right now.
Because like I can see that you have a lot of experience in teaching, right?
Yeah, I've been teaching for like 5, 6 years, but I love
Okay.
that. But nowadays, I moved to Canada. Now I don't teach.
But you will very shortly. After you finish your TESOL, you will see. It'll be
I really
very
love
easy.
that.
It'll be much easier. Zara, can you hear us now, my dear? She typed in that she can't hear us.
Yeah, I think she has some internet problem because now she's in Iran and there is a big problem about
Exactly,
internet.
exactly. Okay, so Ida, here we go. Besides these tasks that you have to design, you also had an essay to deliver. Have you delivered your essay as well?
Yeah. I did it, a few weeks ago, and yeah, they gave me, my result.
Okay, so you got results on that, right?
Yeah.
Also, did you see the conversation activities guideline? Have you found it already in
Canvas.
in your Canvas?
Yeah. I read that yesterday, And I really love that, example part, because, they are not all the same, but
Mhm.
they are very similar to each other. So I love that. And
Yeah.
there were almost 30 different examples. So I just checked, a few of them, and some of them were really interesting for me, actually. Some of them, I think the third one, I don't remember which one, but some of them were really interesting, and I read them and I watched the video. Some of them had, the link to YouTube, but some of them,
Exactly.
most of them didn't have. Yeah, I checked that, and then Daniel sent us some, this conversation activity, and I checked that one. Yeah, I did.
Another class and topic that I think is very useful to add is word stress. So, for example, there are rules. Words with 2 syllables. If it's a verb, it's the second syllable. If it's a noun, it's the first syllable. So this is also a very good class. My students, they love it when I teach that class. Okay, so
Definitely, because we
teaching.
all have problem with that.
Yeah, that's it. And once they learn to understand how important word stress is, and principally when there are words like record and record and progress and progress, so these are the key words that you can use to teach them that word stress changes the meaning. They also learn to pronounce the words better. That's a
Super.
class. That's a class that I also like to teach a lot.
Yeah.
Okay, so here I think that we've covered. Are there any other questions considering conversation activities that I can help you with?
Actually, my main problem was, that enabling and goal that, now I am very better than
Okay.
yesterday. And other than that, when I watched, for example, Daniel sent us some email, I watched his, activities. The format of his activity was different from yours, for example, now. Yours,
Mhm.
now that I watched, it was very more detailed. I don't know which one, when I am writing a plan, when it is very detailed, it makes me a little bit confused, maybe a lot of,
Oh, no.
information.
Like I said, these that I showed you, they are my assignments. So it
Yeah.
was to be scored on my skills as a teacher to elaborate. In real life, I don't do this, of
Yeah,
course
good.
not. No, no.
Okay, good.
Yeah, this is just a lot of what is detailed in writing there. I don't even write. Enabling objectives, I always try to write. As I said, for me as a teacher, it makes me reflect on the usefulness and how to apply the
Exactly.
content. But aside from no, so the ones that I'm going to send you, they are like detailed, but it was to be evaluated. So I'm
Yeah,
as
yeah, yeah.
when you are
That's different.
evaluated, that it's
Okay.
different, right?
Yeah.
Exactly. Okay. So I think that for today we've covered it all. We
Thank
will
you.
be
Yeah.
back next Wednesday. Next Wednesday, we will talk about the final paper. So it's going to be a very nice class as well. But meanwhile, I'll send the email to you and Zara. If you have any questions, please contact me.
Sure. Anna, is it okay if because we have a group
Yes,
with Yanni and others, is it okay if I share your email address?
of course. Please do. Please do. Is it an email group or is it a WhatsApp
No,
group?
no, it's in WhatsApp.
Okay, so then when I send you my email, I'll also send you my
Yeah.
WhatsApp number and you can add me if you wish.
Thank you so much. It will be very
Okay,
helpful. Thank
I
you.
love contributing to teachers. I think
Thank
that
you.
we help each other and we learn together.
All right, great. Thank you.
Okay, then you take care now.
You too. Thank you. See you next week.
Bye. See
Bye.
you
Bye.
next week. Bye.